Again, welcome to the one, the only L3IRD presenting a Learning League episode 29. More items equals more buttons. It is going to be L3IRD. Going to be setting the word setting, shedding, spreading. All three S's are really good, but spreading the word to you all today. More about Season 3, more about the item changes, more about I guess pressing more buttons because I think that's where we're going to. So, voila. So it is one of those little episodes where we're still getting used to all the other good item changes while we do the awesomeness of just setting up and everything for season 3. And so, we are looking into the masteries right now. But first, I wanted to give you a little bit of a knowledge breakdown on who kind of sets up this whole show while actually looking over the mastery tree while we go through it. So I'll do that while we do both. Again, thank you to all the awesome people of Definitive Esports. You can go check out d-esports.com. They are a very, very grateful site that does all pretty good esports coverage, I must say, all around the world. I mean, they cover some of the IEM stuff that happened for both StarCraft 2 and League of Legends. Unfortunately, I was reading for ALNA. If you guys actually follow me on a regular basis, I mod Robert X. Lee's chat. I'm pretty okay with Spellsy, but I've actually interviewed Zekin before, slash Spam Happy when he was still Spam Happy. And yeah, I was really proud of them going to second place. I feel like they could probably got first, but unfortunately they could not figure out the last little points into that last battle pretty much for themselves. If you want to check out the IEM highlights that are still happening, they're still happening. The rebroadcast is still happening, so check that out when you can. But yeah, really, really good stuff for ALNA. But again, I'll check out all that information and all that recap on d-esports.com. Also check out the sponsors, XNG, Antec, Triton, BenQ, and MadCat, which you can't see right now, but we will let you see it in the bottom left in a little bit once we get into the replay. So again, we're talking about masteries. We're talking about what's happening with the new system in League of Legends for Season 3. A lot of it is pretty much in the same kind of style. So you have the tech stuff being in tech stuff, defense, the utility and stuff. There's a little bit of new changes, like again, Biscuiteer, Explorer, Artificer, which we'll actually probably go into a little bit later per se, but not in this episode, probably another episode or so. Safeguard and all this other good stuff. I actually didn't look into defense tree, but the new things that happen in the defense tree, Tenacious, Defender, and Block, is actually pretty strong. So I'm liking the new additions that League of Legends Riot added to it. But pretty much again basically you're going to be utilizing speed or more utility moreover than actually having that straight up attack damage ABP power or that well, mana regen's still there, or like the mana burst that you usually got from expand mine at the first level of the mastery tree. So biggest influence, the biggest change I guess season 3 is, and you can see it in the item values and stuff like that, they want to put down more onto money into attack damage and all that, like really heavy stats to give you more power and stuff. And they want to give you more utility. And ever since season 2 with Graves and all the other champions that have gap closers and stuff like that, utility has been kind of the theme. Season 2, like tier 1 champions, god tier champions has been. So giving that utility now in the master tree gives it a little bit more, I guess, focus into that utility of actually having more attack speed or having that CDR to help you out onto casting, or having that extra mana regen or health regen to get you into a better position into that early game phase. Again, masteries are used for late game and into early game and mid game as well. Runes more generally are used for early game status, just as a little filler kind of thing. But overall, the mastery change is kind of pushing forward with what season 3 it has been and what season 3 is still doing, which is pretty much just building up onto things that have been kind of reinforced in season 2. So health being early, speed being early, and mana gen and such like that. All that's been early just because before in season one and pre-season one and such like that, damage and all that other good stuff was kind of utilized more per se. And when season two happened, when everything was utilized for spells and such like that, having that extra damage, having that extra AP, kind of made it really stale for everybody because everybody knew by level 1 to 6, like where you can gauge about where your damage is throughout the whole game. I mean, you can still do that right now, but it's just a slight little tweak onto it. But you have more chances of coming back from fourth or coming from behind per se. Especially with like for me, I know the AD matchup because I play it so much. Having the extra attack speed at bottom lane will help you tremendously trade more efficiently if you're doing attack canceling or attack moving a lot more. So there you go with that. Other than that, if you want to go check out the Season 3 Master Tree, which I would suggest you probably do because that is a really big number to actually go through and such. Do check it out. It's over in that link I just posted in the chat room. Finale Funklin, I'm guessing that's L. But if you're going to watch the YouTube VOD, you can go check out the description and then there will be the link right there. But other than that, let's actually go on to the episode and show. Yeah, I wanted to do that actually last episode, but unfortunately, stuff happened where it was not going to be happening, so that's why I wanted to do that today. And then luckily, again, I couldn't go on the PBE server because the login keys were unfun, but luckily we actually had a little website. Thanks to Ryguy Extreme for showing that one. Ryguy 9 Extreme for showing that one. Game of League of Legends is getting, as Ocelot would put it, an expansion. Season 3 technically is like Heart of the Swarm if you're a StarCraft 2 player, or Brood War if you're a StarCraft 1 player. It's not really changing anything different of the game, but it's giving so many new awesome items and opportunities to grow within the game. Like fire bats per se, if you really want to go that far, or like I don't know. I really checked out in StarCraft 2, what's like the best new item per se, but yeah, that Vulture Mines. There you go again. But yeah, so it's getting an expansion, and professionals are rearing and ready to get ready for the new season, while the newcomer is looking on, just wants to know what we can see from it. At D-eSports, we're here to get you ready for that next chapter in League of Legends by showing you what's new, what's awesome, and what's good for Season 3. Look briefly last episode actually of the ADC role, the AD carry role, and now we are going to be looking at support. For those who think that support's a really boring role and such like that, even though I do main support, and I think it's actually kind of boring at a lot of times. Oh, I like that game announcement on start. Yeah, very nice, very nice. I generally think supports are probably one of the most important roles in the game, just because of your AD carry is one of the biggest factors of actually winning a game in late game or losing a game late game, unless middle gets fed really hard or jungle gets fed really hard and then jungle or snowballs everybody else. You're generally the consistency that is middle is going to keep you into that like really early to mid to late game. So it's kind of scary that you have to kind of take care of that on top of try to take care of your key at many points of the game. So as a support, it's just tough. It's just tough to really see. So supports in Season 3, there's a few ways you can go about it. I kind of messed up on my way, but I mean, there's a few ways to go about it. Like, again, the new changes for Philosopher's Stone, the 180 is now useful for Fairy Charm or the Rejuvenation Bead. Again, 180 is 180 gold, and usually supports will start out, I guess generally now, because the utility tree is actually a lot better, with 515 gold from the start. But if you're going to start out with that 475 gold, you're probably going to pick up that Rejuvenation Bead or Fairy Charm, and then 3 wards and 2 pots, 2 red pots. That's usually the general kind of way you want to go with it as a support. But as a support now, you can actually start out with Crystalline Flask, get 1 ward, and get some awesome damage as well from just picking up the Fairy Charm or the Regrowth Pendant. Or you can start off with a, I think 3 wards, No, boots and 2 words if you have that 550 mastery kind of goldage. So overall, there aren't really too many changes and differences, but people that don't utilize mana per se as a support, now you can actually have a health regeneration speed, which is very useful. Again, playing Zyra support. Zyra support is pretty strong actually. Like, she does a lot of utility, which is really surprising to me. And now, finding out that Q is very needed and such into Zyra support because Q's damage is too tremendous actually. I've been picking up Q a little bit more per se. Even though if you've seen me play Zyra support before, I usually just go E and W for a long while. I'll pick it up 1 level and Q about level 4, but Q's damage is pretty strong. So yeah, usually what you want to support out with is the same usual 3 wards, 1 fairy charm, or 1 rejuvenation bead, and then 2 pots. Again, your actual goal though for core items, at least for my sake, is getting that crystalline flask ASAP, so you don't have to keep on buying red pots or blue pots. But also picking up that sightstone, probably in that 15 to 17 minute mark. I've been kind of thinking about the goldage of actually getting the sightstone early, and then actually getting the sightstone, or the ruby sightstone, because it's actually a better item per se. 1300 gold for 3 wards automatically, plus you have 2 refreshes on that, which pretty much means you get 3 wards for free, and then you get 2 wards if you need to for free as well, just to back up those 3 wards if ever they get taken down, or if you want to reposition. But yeah, I've been thinking that Sightstone isn't really a strong item to buy into early game, and that you kind of just should just keep on with regular wards, because again, Sightstone, if you guys don't know, is a item like Ruby Sightstone, but you only get to put 2 wards per recharge, and then you only have 4 wards altogether as a buy. Technically, when you buy into these items, Crystalline Flask, which is the health regen and mana regen again, but also onto Sightstone, like, you kind of don't want to buy the actual item that you're supposed to be replacing. So you don't want to buy the red pots, you don't want to buy the blue pots, you don't want to buy wards again from it. In a general sense, if you're buying Sightstone though, you should be rebuying wards, you should be still rebuying not red pots, but maybe blue pots as well. One little quick note with Crystalline Flask though, if you do use a red pot before Crystalline Flask, so you want to try to use the Crystalline Flask for like the mana regen and also other health pots, it won't actually work. It'll just bug out and you can only use that 1 pot for the health pot. So if you do mix and match your health pots with your mana pots and with your Crystalline Flask, and you're trying to use your Crystalline Flask for extra health or regen and stuff like that, it's not going to work. So yeah, watch out for that. Definitely watch out for that. Yeah, so back to Sightstone versus just beginning to pick wards. Again, 75 gold, usually you don't want to buy vision wards too early per se, but 75 gold for just sight wards, it's really minimal of a cost. 700 gold to get to that Sightstone really early. It's like you're delaying yourself out of a second gold for 10 item. Again, second gold for 10 item usually was harder gold in the early games, but again, harder gold is no more, non-existent, sadly, unfortunately. But you know, it's a really good thing to actually get that second gold for 10 item, just to get a lot ahead. Be a little bit greedy as well with the gold advantage, but also to get a lot ahead just so that you can actually catch up into getting into your better items, maybe like a Aegis of Legion, Bulwark, Runic Bulwark, stuff like that, just so that you can do more damage per se. As a support, sorry, as a support. So that's why I think that just buying over general like 5 to 7 minutes, because you usually hit that Sightstone, you have to hit that Ruby Sightstone about 17-16 minutes in if you really want to be effective with it. Within that 5 to 7 minutes, you're only buying about maybe 3 wards per, 2 wards per little session, so 5 minutes times 35, it's about 175? 175, 180, something like that, of wardage. It's not that bad. It's pretty minimal per se. Oh, sorry, I really messed up on the math. That was actually for half watt. 75 times 5 is 3. No, I'm trying to do math in my head, but it's like 380, 390. It's not that bad. Definitely not. Do you see a gank over here? Nice little new skin upgrade for Mr. Nocturne over there. Not bad. Pretty decent. I like looking at that. But overall, very unfortunate that I do have a lot of CC to anti-engage onto that Nocturne and others as well. Wow, I actually did that? Huh, interesting. Anyway, so we are going into a little bit of a lull phase. And again, I don't think I picked up Sight Zone for this one, but I feel like Sight Zone is a good item. I would say that if you're really behind and you need a cap up in gold, or if you want to get that extra health, because that's pretty much what you would only buy Sightstone for, then yeah, I would buy it. But again, Sightstone's health advantage is only 100. It's not that great. Technically, for Ruby Sightstone, you get that extra Ruby Crystal health, so that's really good. On top of that, you get wards, so I guess that's all really what I'm thinking about is just the difference between what's one with the other, truthfully. But yeah, other than that, you want to get into your gold per 10 items. So you want to probably hit that Philosopher's Stone second. You don't have to hit that Philosopher's Stone as fast as you can, but you want to hit that Philosopher's Stone second. So getting that down would be very vital for your game. But overall, I feel like Lucky's Kagi's pick, which has got a lot of upgrades lately, is probably the way to go into this, truthfully. They do get picked up because red buff is pretty OP, so can't do anything about that or at bot lane. But unfortunately for not, I am going to go back and buy up. Right now I do have a Lucky's Kagi pick. I'm going to probably pick up a Philosopher's Stone because I only have 800 gold. And probably pick up, I guess wards? What do I pick up for that? 300 gold? Oh, I'll probably pick up somewhere close to boots, or just pick up boots while I'm waiting, so there you go with that. Another thing with supports, even at the 2k high elo level and such like that, 2k high elo level, you'll see boots for supports not being bought until about the second goal for 10 item. Sometimes you want to do it after your first goal for 10 item. That's why you usually see, if people are behind, you usually see Philosopher's Stone and then boots 1, boots of speed. But some of them get really greedy, get like a heart of gold with Philosopher's Stone and then boots 1. And in Season 3, it's still the same way. Like, you want to get greedy, you want to still have enough gold so that you can pick up onto, you know, just getting more experience on top of that, having that lane presence with that extra gold for 10 passivity. It really would help out to get you into that later game. So, very, very kind of crucial, I guess, per se, to get those gold for 10 really early. But again, it's not really the end-all be-alls of kind of the game, literally. So the difference between boots of speed early versus the Philosopher's Stone, I mean, it's general preference per se, but if you're knowing that you're kind of snowballing your own lane right now, which I think is kind of happening 2-1-2 versus 0-1, I mean, that's kind of the reason why you would just kind of just try to push out and get some more awesomeness with your goal for 10 advantage. We do see Nami over here gets the boots of speed, but does have a mana manipulator, which is actually going to be building up to the item that I'm probably going to be buying into as well. It's called a different item now. I don't remember the actual item. I'll see it when it comes up. But it still gives you gold for 10. It gives you 10% CDR. I think that's a stat. I don't remember if that's the right stat though. And then it has an activated ability to actually give you a slow to an ally champion. So that's really cool to see. We do see Nami's ultimate get into the fray right now. Generally, Root's going to go down. We're going to see if Ezreal can get out of this. Barely coming out, but he will go down, and unfortunately, looks like I will go down too. Nope, I get exhausted down, but I do catch up onto TBK on the technical roots. And Dunks score. But, overall in general, could have probably played that a little bit better. I kind of baited out Ezreal, but unfortunately Ezreal did get hit by the tidal wave, and that really just kind of knocked him up and got him killed, no matter what had happened. So, unfortunately for not, that is how it crumbled. But good thing that, you know, and taking the roots did slow him down, so that's very cool. And we do see the pounce get pounced on. and so they get picked up in the end by the Rig of Town. Really interesting to talk about as well, the whole 80 bruiser middle and such like that. It's more viable now in this kind of phase, especially where you can pick up Sightstone, you can pick up Spirit Stone, which I will go into later. You can pick up Butcher and such like that, and kind of just work your way to a Wriggles Lantern if ever too as well. So Wriggles is actually going to be played a lot more. If you guys don't see it now in PB, which I don't think many are because they want to play around with more new items, Wriggles is going to be such a great item yet again because of that Butcher passive. It's just really easy to just keep it going, and then just so much control you can get from getting Dragon and such like that really early. So triples Wriggle strat, I want to see TSM do it again. It'll probably happen in Season 3. So yeah, pretty much right now I did play that new item called Shard of True Ice. Truthfully, that's a mouthful. I don't know who would actually think about that. Oh, it actually gives them mana regen, it's not the CDR that I would like to see. But mana regen of the mana manipulator with that Shard of True Ice is pretty decent. Again, anything passively that you're getting to get extra stuff into it, it's pretty good. And giving mana regen to pretty much all mana champions, pretty decent as well. Pretty decent as well. We do see a little bit of gankage over here, and the only thing is left really that's deadly is that Cassiopeia, and Cassiopeia is going to go wreck pretty hard, if anything. We do see Cassiopeia missing off onto Cute Lady though, and Cute Lady is going to get the kill right over there. Unfortunately, like, supports in this part of Season 3 though, again, it's going to be really difficult to match, like, where they're going to be, not as, like, how do I want to phrase this? Season 3 supports are going to be less about positioning and such like that and knowing where you are. Season 3 is more about what your cooldowns are and what you're going to be looking at for later on per se. What I mean by that pretty much is right now I'm building up, right now I have Sightstone, I have Shrouded True Eyes, I could be building up to a Shirley's Reverie, and I still have Crystalline Flask on the my technically number 5 onto there. If you guys haven't seen me play League of Legends, my actual abilities I have onto ASDF. That's very unregular from the sorry for a second, let me see what I'm going to do right over here. But that's very unregular from people who play regular MOBAs, which is QWER for the abilities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the items per se. So I play everything on a lower scale just because it helps me, I guess, move everything faster. I guess my fingers are just so used to it now, so I can't really do anything about that. But ASDF is my QWER, and then QWERTY is my 1 through 6 item abilities, which is really good for me per se. But now that the game's changed where you have more activated abilities and stuff, my QWER is now truthfully like QWER, and I have to know about those cooldowns, I have to know about those timings as well. So in Season 3 in the beginning, it's going to be a lot different for supports, AP middles per se as well, because those are the two that are going to be really dealing with the changes of activated abilities and items. That's just going to be how it's going to be, and how we're going to have to go through it. And for people that haven't played Dota and such like that, like me, I didn't play Dota at all before this. I didn't play Han or anything like that before I got into League of Legends. It's tough. It's very tough to actually know what you're going to be pressing at times of the game. So it's cool that the game's changing in that direction, and I'm gonna have to change with it like usual. So we do see the dragon attempt, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty much generally what you want to go for as a support right now, especially with Shrouded True Eyes. You can still keep your goal for 10 item passive. It's probably the better of the two if you're kind of sustained support, and also a just a usual support per se, as into like, oh, you don't really play the support role, so you want to have that extra just gold for 10 just to keep yourself kind of in the game, just in case you kind of mess up later on per se. Ravecaller would be probably the better support items, I say, because Ravecaller does have that utility of giving you a slow. On top of that, giving you yeah, slow that's really cool, and also CDR reduction, which is also really decent as well. So yeah, I mean, pretty much that is what you will see about supports right now, and we're going to be looking into supports yet again for the second part of this episode. Again, guys, this is episode 29. More items equals more buttons. Again, guys, L3RD going to be going through part 2 in just a few seconds. Don't you fret, don't you worry. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break, and we'll be